Okay, we're back. Third and possibly the final portion of my gathering my power, I guess, getting the strongest players and strongest items and learning the best magic. Once I get all that done, once I've got the right equipment and the right people, I'm still not quite ready because I've got to go around the world and visit the gods, which is the only way in the game to increase your statistics. I talked a little bit about my wizards getting stronger so that they could wield the great swords, and my dwarf getting stronger so he could wield Orcbane. And I'm even going to find a magic bow for my elf, who I think he's got 6 strength. Yep, and he needs 9 to wield the bow, so I've got a lot to do. So I've got to find the gods. He will increase their statistics and their hit points, and that's really I guess the equivalent of leveling up. To get to where we need to go, we have to go back to the castle. And this time, instead of going to the top floor, we are going to the ground floor. And then down below into the cellars. Now, the cellars are probably traditionally on a normal person's first playthrough the very first place they would have come. The enemies down here are really not that threatening. That first fight that I ran into back in Drakhelm consisted of the same group of people. The guy with the bow is called a Tekir, there's an orc in the green, and then the Zorlums are in the red, and they're spellcasters. These guys are all incredibly weak, and the reason they ran from me or agreed to a truce last time is because my guys are strong and they have the ability to sense that, and they will give up. In fact, I suspect that if I tried to talk to them and greet them, they would throw down their weapons and beg for mercy and give me money. And that's not an exaggeration, that's literally what they will do. But, like I said, I want to use them as a punching bag, a training dummy, and get my skills up. So I'm not going to allow them to get a truce with me. I don't have to set up my party each time. There's 4 cardinal directions you can enter a room, and it'll save your formation when you begin each time, so I have to set it up each time, or not each time, but the first time. And we're ready to go. One thing that the benefit to having an elf, I've kind of been on the fence about having an elf in the party at all. Having another dwarf, I could do a lot more damage with each attack, but I don't have to worry about getting my guy into position. And also, elves can use spells. He doesn't have anything that I'm interested in right now. What I want is to see if anyone has a jump spell. And I don't believe anybody does. Oh, Midir does. Jump is incredibly helpful. And the reason is, rather than spending 1, 2, 3, 4 turns getting there, I can just put him right in the thick of it. Use a Ganshi and do the same thing to Kruga. So now with 2 spells, I've increased my party's potential to do damage significantly. Damn it. The Zorlums are the ones I'm targeting first because they can cast spells and they're really the only ones who can do real damage to us. I guess I still haven't even equipped my Mithril or my steel helmets on anybody, so in theory all these people could do some damage, although there's no possible way they could kill me before I'm going to kill them. So I'm not really too worried about it. And Eflin keeps getting 1 turn. I guess I'm going to have to start using a Ganshi the first round. I guess one thing I should point out is enemies will have, I do 35 damage, they'll take 30 X amount of damage. The reason why I took 30 damage is because he had shield. Shield is magical attribute. Basically, it goes up to 99, and every point of shield you have absorbs 1 point of damage from a magical source. If I'd hit him with a axe, it would have said armor, but because it was magic, it's shield. He had 5 shield, so my firewall did 35 damage, but he only took 30 because his shield absorbed some, and he has 0 hit points left. Eldai, let's see if I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, he actually has no armor on, so he did 18 damage and he took 18 damage and he has 2 hit points left, so as long as this thing connects, he will die, and he did. And that's the end. I'll search, get some coins, and that's it. This is a treasure chest, like what I was talking about earlier. I'll go ahead and save just in case this damn thing is poison, which I suspect it is. You use your picks on these. They usually don't have anything too interesting in it. Lockpick breaks, and it's arrows. I would take them, but I already bought 99, so I'm not going to. And I think Eldai is also full up on arrows. Yeah, I can't take those. So I'll just have to leave those in the treasure chest. I usually have Lucas search everyone afterwards just because it's easier to know where everything is when he gets it. Obviously, if I had Ethlin, Midir, Kruga, Midir, or Eldai search, as I indicated earlier, hirelings and anything that gets in their inventory will never leave again. So I don't ever want them to search because they won't give anything up. It's okay if Lucas or Ethlin searches, or my next party member, because they are actual companions and not hirelings. And then I can transfer this whatever I want around. I'll actually go in here. Whenever you clear out a room in a dungeon, you can always set up camp, and everyone, as you can see, takes a position. They can do whatever they want. They can sleep, learn, fix, whatever. I'll have everyone use a sermon. Oops. Have everyone use a sermon. And I will learn a couple spells real quick before going forward. I'm going to want some walk water. I'll go ahead and learn some jump on, well, I don't want him to cast it because him casting spells is a turn he could use hitting somebody. I probably better just hand off his books to somebody. Ethlin, I want to learn walk water because that's going to become important in the near future. And I guess I better give him a spell book. I'll give him Zoxin. I'm hesitant to give Midir spellbooks because, again, he doesn't ever give them back. So if I ever wanted another spellcaster to learn a spell that he has a spellbook of, they're just shit out of luck because he won't give it to him. So he can learn the Zoxin book. They all have these weird names, and I can never fully remember what each one does. But they're pretty. The main attribute of these spells is they affect everyone. For example, I know Zishoxi casts a shield on everyone in your party. Zutyan removes the shield and armor from everyone in the opposing party, which makes it very strong. Zephyr, I think, is a giant fireball. Zapal casts a small fireball on everyone, and Zephyr, I don't even know what that does, but I've never needed to memorize it because it's not that good. But Zutyan I want. So I'll just learn that for a little bit. Now you can see at the bottom, Ethlin's learning a lot of walk water, and Midir only learns 1 Zutyan once in a while. Spells take different lengths of time to memorize. So all that time that I did that, Midir learned 3 Zutyans, and Ethlin learned, he already had 10 walk water, he has 62, so he earned 52. So some spells you just have to decide if it's worth your time to get or not. And the Z spells usually are not that useful, and that's why I was okay giving Midir that book. Alright, another thing that we're about to run into is that there's an ambush right ahead. Ambushes are when you're walking around, when you're not in a room, when you're just walking around not the overworld map, but the dungeon map, you will sometimes get ambushed. If you have a certain skill, which I think it's, I'll have to look at it. certain characters have, I think it's soul sense or something. They can detect ambushes at a time, which is incredibly useful, because if the enemies get the first attack, then they usually screw you. This time Eldai sensed it, so we knew it was coming, so we get the first attack. This is a bunch of orcs, basically the simplest fight in the entire game. They're very weak, don't do much damage, and they will most likely run from us rather than actually stay and fight, so I don't know why they even bothered ambushing us. I'm not going to waste jumping. I guess I'll use a Gonchi. You see, Lucas does 56 points of damage. You saw Eldai earlier did 18. He does like, what was it, 30. So Lucas, again, he hits incredibly hard, and I don't like to have him cast spells in battle because it's, you know, he's a lot more effective if he's hitting somebody. Oh, I don't have that many acid balls, but I guess I'll blow them on these guys just for the experience. Okay, acid ball is another funny spell. There's acid ball and there's fireball. Acid ball does different damage to different creatures, and that's another one of those things I don't really understand why that is. He'll do 57 damage on every one of these orcs, but if he attacks a Zorlum, it may be 30. I don't know. Fireball is different in that it always does the same amount of damage to everyone all the time. It'll be 35 damage. So you know, there's not really a clear answer on which one's better fireball or acid ball, but I don't really mess around with it too much. I'll have Lucas search just to keep the coins together. Nothing. And finally, like I was talking about earlier, I'm going to go ahead and equip all my stuff. What does everyone have on? So he's still wearing his chainmail, cotton robe. He's not even wearing armor. Ringmail, elven spun. So he needs his clothes. No, he needs some mithril. And he needs a steel helmet. Where are all my steel helmets at? Did I get rid of Rawl with all my steel helmets? Nope. Lucas has them. Alright, Lucas. You need to transfer to Eflin your steel helmet. Transfer to Midir your steel helmet. Transfer to Kruga your steel helmet. Transfer to Eldai. You know what I just gave? Here's one of the problems of having Hireling. I gave Midir a second steel helmet, which I'll never get back from him, so when I get my last party member, I can't give him one. I will just hold that steel helmet for him. Okay, so now all my guys, except for Eldai, are wearing a steel helmet, their mithril, and their elven spun, so they are decked out. Oh, except for Midir, who's not wearing his mithril. He doesn't have his mithril. I think Eflin must have it. Yep, he's got 3. Alright, Midir. Put on your mithril. Okay, so now if we get hit, the damage that anyone does to us will be little to none, because again, this is a entry-level area. The cellars are full of very weak monsters. I don't even think we're going to have to fight anyone else. Oh, there's an ambush here. And everyone flees before it even begins. I'm just going to have Eldai take this guy out, if I can. Let's have Midir do it, because he's got more fireballs than Eflin has. Acid balls. One body to search. Everyone's running away from us. We're way too powerful to be down in here. Eflin says, I'd hesitate to proceed any further without a good supply of walk water spells. Were we to be stranded above one of these foul pools with no walk waters left, we would be doomed. Well, that's kind of why I had him get some earlier. Can walk 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just to show off, I will use a shovel right there. I find 50 coins, 4 emeralds, and Eflin can take it. No, he can't carry more, so Lucas will take it. Gems usually pretty good, but since I have infinite gold, I don't really need it. They just take up space in my inventory. Is there anything else I need over here? No. Alright, here's that soul sense again. Eflin thinks the monsters seem nervous again. They don't want to fight. I don't really care. Let's have Midir jump me. Right there. And jump him right there. There, my sword skill just went up 1. And his axe skill just went up 1. Done. So that's right there why I want to use them, because, you know, I've used my spells a jillion times and you've never seen the magic go up once, I don't think. Down here is Sakar. He is one of my old best buddies. I used to use him all the time, and he's pretty good, but he's not as good as Kruga, and for the purposes of this run through, I want to use the best party I can get. The reason I came down here is this room right here, which is another teleporter room. What I want to do here is travel to the next dungeon I want to go to. And that next place is a dungeon underneath an orc town, I think. Hold on. Let's see. I need to go to Cube Sphere. Excellent. Now this is the last person I need to get. Now this dungeon is probably the first one we'll actually go through in some depth. There is my last party member, there's also a magical bow, and there is a conch shell, which is an item we also need to beat the game in this same dungeon. It is not actually in that tower. But rather in that town. Now this is a town full of enemy creatures, which means you need to make a disguise into the town, which is why I memorized disguise earlier. Lucas will cast disguises, and now we are disguised as a Minotaur, Zorlums, an Orc, and a Tekir. Let's see what kind of... Okay, they're goblins. This is a town of goblins, and they don't know that we are children of light. The goblin says, "May you bathe in the dark radiance of Zakad's glory. Speak softly, the stones have ears." So they think that I'm a bad guy, basically. He'll tell me about an orc crawling into town carrying a magic bow. He called it Darkfinder. We thanked him and hid the bow in a safe place. So that's a clue about the bow that I said I want. Everything is down in these catacombs. With a certain word to get in. Like everything else, who whisper Yomanis? I'm spelling it wrong. Oh, that was it. And the catacombs open up, and we can enter. And we take off our disguises. Now this is a considerably more dangerous area than the cellars. So we're short one person, so we kind of have to be careful. And if I remember where I'm going, I'm always wary around curves because this is where ambushes are very popular. Oh, there you go. Now look, that guy is hitting me, but because my armor's so high, I took 0 damage from the Zabani, and the Knoll did 3 damage to me. So they could basically wail on me all day, and I would still win because my armor's so good. So let's use my fighters first. 0 damage. I have to get my bow skill up a lot higher, obviously. He does 16 damage to me and I have 19 armor, so really not an issue. Victory, search your valuables. Now honestly, I didn't even know that ambush was there, but like I said, I'm always suspicious of curves because that's where ambushes are very popular. Those little pieces of light down there are what I need a pierce spell for. You can see that they're guarding some chest which probably has something very valuable in it, but I'm not interested in that just yet. Okay, now here is the hardest fight we've had yet. We've got, what is this guy called? A Gayam or something? A Zoomigan. And then these silver guys are Greygans, and this gray guy is a Gayam, that's it. Now, the Gayams, the silver guys will shoot acid balls, and I haven't put up my shield yet, so they can actually do a lot of damage to us. And the Gayams can cast a spell called Forget, which makes you forget the spell you have recalled. So all the time I spent learning Teleport or Acid Ball or whatever, he can just wipe out of your memory and you can't use it anymore, which can be devastating when your main attacker is casting Fireball, then he forgets Fireball, and then he's worthless for the remainder of the battle until you sit down and recall or learn the spell again, which takes forever. So we have got to basically kill this party in one round. Fortunately, I think we can do it. To begin with, I learned a spell called Time Stop, which gives your whole party 1 extra round every time you cast it. So now, once everyone's gone, they get to go again. I'll use a Ganchi, so I'm assured more turns. I'm going to have Midir jump us to where we need to go. And I'm going to double up on these guys just to be safe. Oh, I should have had him use a Ganchi, oh well. Now, you'll notice this guy, he's in a corner, which means he can't dodge, which means my hits are guaranteed, which is awesome. Kruga. Use a Ganchi. And I'm connecting every time. This is awesome. Zoomigan I'm not concerned about. He only has physical attacks. They're ranged physical attacks, but since my armor is so high, it really doesn't bother me too much. I'm going to go ahead and use a Ganchi since he never seems to have a second turn. It looks like I won't even need the time stop because I'm going to dominate these guys. Yep. And then I'll just have Eldai shoot this guy. And see, at this point he would have gotten a turn, but I cast Time Stop, so it's back to Lucas and everyone gets a turn again. And I finish him off. Easy peasy. Alright, now here's another new thing. This thing in the fountain, or this thing in the corner, is a fountain. Fountains will give you spells if you drink from it. This one will give me free spells. Will I drink from it? No. But I will have Eldai drink from it. No, I mean Midir Eflin drink from it. And you just learned 12 free spells. Alright, here's another thing that bugs me. When there's a big open area, that's another sign there's going to be an ambush. When you're in a little narrow passageway, they usually don't, but when there's an area that opens up, you got to be cautious. I believe the last person we want is behind this door. And he is. There he is, the best wizard in the game. He's got a Gayam, who's our highest priority, and some skeletons who will continue to come back to life until we cast Wrestle on them, and they're incredibly obnoxious to kill. So let's begin. Oh, and they will also, because they're undead, they have no fear, and they will never talk to you. You can never negotiate with them. You have to fight every time. You can't greet them. I'm running pretty low on jump spells already. although you can see they serve me pretty well. Let's kill that Gam. His axe is going to break any minute. I'm going to use Ethlon last because I want to use his rest souls. I'm not going to finish off a turn. He has one more turn. I'm going to see if I can save that for a rest soul. And I can. Skeletons are stronger than that goblin, so he's obviously my target. And there we go. All done. Another bad thing about undead is they don't leave bodies, so you can't search them. There's arrows on there that Eldai will take. And Tamis is rescued. Lucas, invite that man. Excellent. That's it. We're done. Well, done with getting the party anyway. I'll go ahead and give him my last steel helmet, and I will give him, I guess I can't give him my Mithril because wait, which one did I not have extra of? Oh, I didn't have. Do I not have an extra Elven Spine? I do. Oh, I guess I do have enough for everything. Excellent. Put on Mithril, put on Steel Helmet, and put on Elven Spine. Done. Alright. So now we have, in my opinion, the strongest makeup of the strongest party in the game. Of course, I still have to visit God so I can and get a few more weapons so that I can do as much damage as possible. But I'm pretty sure if I had to fight the very last battle of the game at this point, I could probably win if I had some time to prepare a few more spells. I'm going to go ahead and end this here. When I come back, I'll finish off the catacombs, get the last bow, get the conch shell, and move on from there.